Hey, Feel Like Media community, Lawrence here, and I'm back again with another video. So in today's video, we'll be talking about how you can get started with photography on this year. So I know this video has been long overdue, but I know I said on a previous video that if I were to get over 100 likes on that specific video, then I would do more photography content on it. And indeed, that video did get over 100 likes. So thank y'all for supporting my content and my channel, and also subscribing to my channel. But if you already haven't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and push that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started and talk about how you can get started with photography. I'm gonna break this down into 3 simple tips. But other than that, let's go ahead and get to the video. Alright y'all, so the very first tip that you need to know in order to get started with photography is a very obvious tip, and that is you need to have a camera. So with the camera, it can be a professional camera or it can actually be your phone. So I know with me, I actually started using my phone back in the day. I was just shooting on my iPhone 6 Plus, or was it 7 Plus? But anyway, I was shooting with that on my phone and just taking pictures and editing photos on my phone. So you'd be surprised how good these iPhones can take some really good quality pictures. And not only good quality pictures, but you know, there's also apps that you can use to edit your photos as well, which I'll talk about in the next tip. But anyway, you can actually use your phone to keep things simple before you even actually buy a professional camera. And once you get good at the phone, you can actually progress to actually getting a real camera. So this here is the Canon T6i. I've been shooting with this with the past 4 years. I am in the need of an upgrade, but regardless, I'm still able to get some good quality photos. I'm just shooting with this camera alone. But here I was able to get the Canon T6i and done a lot of work with it, and still am doing a lot of work with it. But anyway, you definitely need a camera to get started with photography. So you can either use your phone or you can use a professional camera. As far as where you can find some of the best phones or a camera, you can definitely do your research as far as what phone you should get, or you can do your research to find out what type of camera you should get as well. I suggest going the more beginner friendly route. I know the Canon T6i is a good beginner friendly camera that you can use if you want to start off with photography. I know this is a Canon brand, but there's also Nikon, and there's also Sony, and also Fuji too as well. But it's all up to you and your preference. There really isn't no preference for me, but I chose to go the Canon route. And yeah, so make sure you just have a camera in order to get started. And once you have your camera, then you can go ahead and take advantage of the next tip, which I'm about to mention. So this is tip number 1. Let's go ahead and learn about tip number 2. Alright, so tip number 2. Now with this tip is very how can I say it? It's very opinionated, but you can do with or without this tip. But basically, you definitely will want to have an editing software so that you can edit your photos. Now again, like, you don't really have to have an editing software. You can just take pictures and just be done and send it out to people, or just post it online. You don't really need to edit your photos. But if you want to take that next step and really change the game in photography for you, definitely would want to have an editing software, so that way you can edit your photos after you take them, and so that your pictures can look twice as better as it did when you took it out of the camera. But as far as editing software, I know there's some out there. I know one for me, because I did start on my phone. What I used to edit my photos on my phone was use this app called Snapseed, and it's free to download on Apple Store or Google Play. I'll definitely leave a link down in the description box below so you can download it if you need that app. But like I said, it's free to use, and it's very simple app to edit photos. You can do a lot of stuff with Snapseed, like, you know, edit your lighting, your composition. You can actually crop photos. You can even add background blur to your photos, or even all that good stuff that editing photo software does have for you. But anyway, Snapseed is a good starting point for you to edit your photos. And then once you get really good at it, then you can progress over to more of a paid software where you can edit your photos. And the paid software that I use is called Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop. Now with those softwares, those are paid versions, so you can actually sign up. I do believe they have a free trial first, where you can try out for either 14 days or 30 days. But once the free trial is over, then you can actually pay for a yearly membership or a monthly membership. So for me, I just got the monthly membership where I just pay like almost $10 a month for me to have Lightroom and Photoshop on my computer so I can edit my photos on my computer. But anyway, that is a really good app that you can use, software that you can use to edit your photos. And there's also other apps out there, but I won't mention this just to keep this video simple. But those are the apps that I use: Snapseed or Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop. But yeah, you just need an editing software to edit your photos, and once you have your editing software, then you're ready to go on to the next tip that I'm about to mention. But this is tip number 2. Let's go ahead and find out what is tip number 3. Alright y'all, so the last and final tip that you need to know in order to get started with photography this year is one of the most important tips that you need to know, and it can either make or break your career or your development as you become a photographer. And basically that tip is, outside of getting the camera and outside of having an editing software, you will also need to practice. Now, you know the saying, practice makes perfect. So if you don't practice, it's hard for you to develop as a photographer. So practice shooting other people, practice shooting landscapes, practice shooting animals, just practice shooting something in front of your photo. And after that, practice editing those photos too as well. So with me, when I first started, I did a lot of practicing, which is how I got to where I'm at today. So I've been practicing over the past 6 years, and it's been 6 years since I started photography myself. And even to this day, I still go outside and practice on people. So you definitely need to practice. So like I said, you can find some friends, some family members or relatives that you can practice on and take photos of, then edit those same photos and just give it to them. And you can also get some real-time feedback from others to tell like if they like the photos or not. So practice is very huge key that you need to know to get started with photography, and that is actually my last tip that I got for you. So like I said, I told you I was going to keep this thing simple. So gotta have a camera, got to have an editing software, and you got to practice. Now if any one of those tips resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments down below and what you plan on doing moving forward as you get started with photography. But if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video if you like this video, and thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you like this video and want to see more videos like this, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on if you haven't already. And also make sure you go check out my most recent behind the scenes video of the photo shoot that I've done on last year. So with that photo shoot, I've done some Christmas photos. I know it's not Christmas right now, but still, this is actually an actual workflow of how I actually work when it comes for me to taking photos and what I actually see in the real world. But check that video out all the way to the end, and definitely show some love in that video with that as well. But other than that, hope you have a good week, and I'll see you in the next video.